What's going on, YouTube? Thank you so much for joining me today. You know how we do this. We always start off with a great big thank you to all the men and women in all branches of service. Thank you so much for doing what you do, so the rest of us are free to do what we do. Okay, so today we're going to talk about this guy right here, KYLIN RTA. Got it sitting on top of my Hexome, all in black. This is in big mode. This is 6 mLs. The small mode is 2 mLs. Before we get too far into that, we're going to drop down to the table, take a quick look at it, show you all the pieces, parts, come back up, talk about it, and get you out of here. Alright, so here's all the pieces that you end up getting in your box of your Vandy Vape KYLIN RTA. You get 2 glass for this for when you have it in small mode. It comes with 3 different drip tips. I believe these are all Goon compatible. It also has, a bag of goodies, O-rings. This is a regular 510 drip tip adapter, Allen key, grub screws, all kinds of extra stuff. This is basically how I've been using it. I did run it in small mode just a little bit, but with the build that I've put in mine, the small mode, you just refill it too often. If you want the small mode, you have your chimney piece here, and it has this extension. Nice O-ring, no leaking, no nothing there. You just have to make sure that when you tighten it down, that you actually get it all the way down and make sure that it's tight and that the O-ring can seat properly. But I've had 0 issues. So here's your chimney piece. Here's the glass for the big big tank, and your top cap for your top fill and all that. That's it. That's all there is to this. There's not much there. It does have a nice protruding 510 pin. You probably could put this on a hybrid if you wanted. I don't know. I don't put tanks on hybrids. Airflow is nice and clicky. It has 3 different settings. I usually use mine about 3/4. I don't like it full open. I put it, 3/4. Through the juice well here, you can see the grub screws for the postless deck. Okay, so you take your Allen key tool and you just tighten through there before you wick it, obviously. These are just some simple fuse Claptons I built and threw in here. The 26 gauge Anarchist nichrome with a 36 gauge Twisted Messes nichrome over top. This build comes out to 0.15-ish. But that's about it. If we tip the deck just a little bit, you can see right under the coil there's airflow there, and then there's airflow that comes up and kind of hits the side of the coil up like this. But it works really well. The airflow is very, very smooth. So that's about it. Once you've got it wicked, you throw your chimney on. You take your glass. The glass sits down on top of this O-ring and actually seats down really, really nicely. This doesn't move at all. And then, put your top on. There you go. All right, so I'm going to wick this up and show you how I've wicked it and what's been working for me. And then we'll get back up top. All right, so here's just a piece of Japanese organic cotton. This is, in comparison, I run my coils tight. That's always worked out real well for me. And then right around there is where we're going to stop. Probably a little extra there. Alright, so then you can see, the juice well there. So then just tuck it down, kind of like an RTA. or an RDA. Push it over so I got room to get in. Okay, now that's just pushed down tight. You do have to use a fair amount of cotton with this, but then I pull it back up a little bit. And then that's basically what I've done. So it still hits the bottoms of my wicks, because when I just jammed it all packed in there, it didn't keep up. I'd have to wait. Or pop the top, burp burp it. But do that on both sides, and that's worked out real well for me. So let's get back up top and vape this thing. Okay, so there's a quick close-up look at the KYLIN RTA. Like I said, I've got mine in big mode. This holds 6 mLs of liquid. If you do the small mode, you can see how much shorter that glass is. It will drop the size of this tank down considerably. But with the builds that I use, the builds that I build, it's just not enough capacity. I might as well just have a dripper at that point. It's a great tank. It's a great tank. One thing I didn't show in close-up, I don't know how well this is going to show up. I don't know if you can see it real well, but it has juice flow control. So you just turn it off and you fill it, open it back up. If I wick it right, I've had 0 leaking. I did have some leaking once when I tried to back the cotton off. I backed it off too far, but I've only had it leak on me one time. I've been using this constant for the last 2 weeks, and I've had it leak once. And the very first time I wicked it, I watched Grimm's tutorial on it, in his Tuesday Bro Tuesday, and he said about just packing it full of cotton. So that's how I did it when I first got it, and I put too much in there. It wouldn't keep up. I was getting not dry hits, but not a good saturated. How I've showed you in the close-up, I've had 0 problems with that, and I've done it that way several times. It's worked out great. This is Bro Trip from the Grimm Green Signature, and it tastes great in here. It really does. I mean, it's not a dripper. I don't know a tank that will give you dripper flavor, but as far as tanks go, man, this flavor's nice. It tastes just like it's supposed to. In short mode, you will get a little, just a little bit better flavor, because, you know, it's a shorter chimney, so the coils are closer to your mouth. You're going to get better flavor. That said, in big mode, great flavor. It's a great RTA, man. Like I think I said in the close-up, I run mine about 3/4 open. The airflow never moves because it clicks into place. It's built really well. It vapes really good. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it is tall. It is a big tank. Here's, there's my one of my recoils next to it, and yeah, it's big, but it has 6 mils. 6 mLs of capacity. That's fantastic. You can find them for like 35 bucks. I had some points. I think I got mine from eCiggity, so I got mine shipped to the house for $33. 35 bucks. If you're in the market for a good performing, high capacity, easy to build, easy to wick RTA, KYLIN RTA by Vandy Vape, man. It's a great RTA. Okay, that's what I got. I'm not gonna gush over this thing any farther. If you're interested, I'll have a link to where I bought mine down below. Remember, guys, we got to keep fighting. We got to do something. There's going to be all kinds of links for advocacy down below, fdaregs.info, august8th.org. There's all kinds of things that we can still do. We just got to keep doing them. All right, that's what I got. We'll talk to you next time.